My beloved, come closer in this quiet hour, and let the hush that now rests over your name become a soft doorway into what is true. Breathe with me. Slowly, let the air itself carry the message. The unseen has gathered about you, and the stillness you felt was not emptiness, but a holy preparation, a clearing of space so light could move. Hear this as if from a warm sunrise speaking to your chest. Something in the invisible places has shifted on your behalf. A secret session of the Spirit has just finished, and though you could not attend with your eyes, your destiny was the subject of that room. Do not scroll past this moment. Do not let ordinary curiosity drown the invitation. Stay with the listening in your bones. There was a time when voices conspired behind closed doors, strategies drawn up to make you small, to clip the wings you did not yet know were growing. They plotted delays. They practiced whispers that would convince you to lower your voice. But tonight, those schemes are unraveling. Imagine a council around a long table whose ink was meant to rewrite your path. Now picture the ink dissolving like salt in rain. One person at that table could not keep the pretense. Their composure broke because a truth heavier than secrecy found them and made them shake. They left in shame, carrying revelation like a sealed envelope that trembled with what it had been given to reveal. That trembling was not the sound of pity for you. It was the sound of your vindication beginning to wake. Listen, a mighty protector in heaven has been standing guard for the syllables of your name. In the night, while the world called it quiet, angels took positions and spiritual forces arrayed themselves as guardians. They have seen the plans aimed at your heart, and they have not been idle. Where human sight could not follow, the heavens intervened, dismantling snares before you even walked into them. Doors that seemed to close were actually shields. Losses that stung were gentle redirections away from traps you could not have recognized. The heaviness you felt, the restlessness, the insomnia, the sense that something was off that was not weakness. It was prophetic sensitivity, waking you to what the Spirit had been contending with on your behalf. Your unease was a whisper from the divine saying, "Pay attention. This is not ordinary." The weather in your soul was changing, and unseen hands were rearranging the course of your life like a gardener repositioning a fragile seed toward the sun. There is a record, an invisible ledger, with your name written on it in letters of fire. Plans intended to silence your gifts, to delay your breakthroughs, to rob your joy were sealed in a book that is now being opened by a justice that does not forget a single wrong. The false agreements made without your consent, promises swapped in darkness, contracts signed in envy, are being cancelled by a higher signature. What was designed to keep you crouched in the margins will instead be the very soil from which your abundance sprouts. The moment you are receiving this voice is not accidental. It is the precise place the universe chose for you to hear what it has arranged. There are thresholds opening to your favor right now. Gates that once seemed locked are unlatching, and a current of divine momentum is pressing toward you with irresistible force. See in your mind a golden flood entering the quiet rooms of your life, warm and luminous, dissolving the residue of betrayal and exposing the truth like sunlight on a fogged window. Visualize that light as it touches old scars and transforms them into maps, each mark on you becoming a path to wisdom, a seam of gold in the story of your becoming. Picture, too, the opening of a gate trimmed in brass, flung wide by unseen hands. Beyond it is a field of harvest you thought you would never enter. Let your body feel the breeze from that field. It smells of good things, of favor, of restoration. Imagine rain, not the cold kind that soaks you with sorrow, but a gentle, abundant rain of mercy that waters dreams you had buried in secret. These are not metaphors to read and forget. They are spiritual signs arranged for you to see with inner sight, so that you may walk with courage. Now rise, my child, receive this blessing. Hear these commands as wind commands the sea, simple, sovereign, irrevocable. Stand and step forward. Take your place. There are 2 commands I place in your heart tonight. Accept what has been ordained for you without shrinking, and refuse every counterfeit entreaty offered in the name of love or gain. Let those commands settle like seeds in the soil of your decisions. From this moment, say no to old chains. From this moment, let truth be louder than fear. You are being summoned to a posture of sovereign listening and brave movement. You will not return to the table that spoke of you with malice. Instead, you will be escorted to a table set by grace. There are people who tried to wear masks of friendship while they schemed your delay. Their hands sketched traps where they smiled. But that which they plotted in shadow is now being peeled into daylight. The one who once sat complacent in the meeting began to weep when revelation struck their heart, because they saw painfully and suddenly the dates of your destiny on the horizon and the horror of what their choosing had almost done. Their tears were not an apology, they were the story cracking open, a confession unfolding even if unsaid aloud. The shock moved them. It should move you too, but not into bitterness. Let the knowledge of their failure free you not to revenge, but to reclaim what was always yours. This season of concealment was never meant to be punishment. It was protection. You were hidden not because you were forgotten, but because you were precious, and the timing had to be exact. In the silence, the Maker was rescripting the narrative. In the stillness, you were being trained in endurance and secret potency. Just as a seed waits in dark earth to be perfect for the moment of growth, you were kept so the right climate of revelation could be created. The quiet was your training ground. While the hands of envy were busy, heaven was busier unseen craftsmen shaping your readiness. And now the work completes its careful laboring. The curtains are shifting. The heavenly chorus leans in. Prepare yourself for the sound of praise that will rise when your life is recognized in rightful form. There are spiritual indicators arriving now, dreams that glow with a clarity they lacked before. Phone calls from past corners of your life that feel like puzzle pieces snapping into place. Offers that glitter, but test your discernment. A deep inner pull to move, to leave, to choose differently. These are not coincidences, they are appointment markers that the divine places to guide you. Beware the counterfeit that mimics urgency. Not everyone who returns has renounced their old pattern. Some will come cloaked in regret to delay you again. Forgive them for your own liberty. Bless them for the truth of your own healing. But do not accept them back into positions that will reroute your calling. Heaven will send authentic people who are aligned to the assignment on your life, those who carry a clear resonance with your purpose, not those who carry strings. You are ready. Hear that as if the very foundations beneath you speak. You were never too shattered, never too late, never too dim. Those messages of defeat were tactics of fear. In the hidden chambers of the spirit you were being fortified. The disappointments that whispered "not now" were actually divinely timed reroutes. That job that slipped, that door that closed, that person who walked away, those were guardians placed in your path to protect you from snares you could not yet see. The shield raised around your name was quiet but determined. Now it is time to trade the armor of survival for the garment of a fresh purpose. You will not be measured by what you lost, but by how you walk with what you are given anew. See another vision. A host of luminous beings like riders on wind appear when your eyes are closed, not to frighten you but to reveal your safety. Imagine those riders not as distant myth, but as the very reality protecting your days. Their presence, a tangible warmth around your family, your mind, your work. In that vision, see them hold back a tide of despair and then release currents of restoration. Feel the assurance settle into your chest like a seed that has finally rooted. This is metaphor made real for those who choose to feel it, a profound accompaniment that changes your posture from anxious to certain. Your inward knowing will become unmoved by gossip, unshaken by rumor, and beautifully centered in conviction. Now listen to a quiet litany of commands seated in heaven's court and issued to your heart. Do not return to places where your name was spoken as a game. Do not accept contrition that is a costume for delay. Claim your inheritance even if no one apologizes. These are divine nudges, not harsh orders, but lordly directions that steer you toward wholeness. And when fear tries to tell you that you are unworthy of joy, answer with the simpler truth. You were not left. You were arranged for ascension. A great restoration is forming not casual, not trivial, but generational. Picture the release like a treasury opened. Blessings poured out in such abundance that the margins of your life blur into overflow. There are promises that have been late, and now they are arriving with a velocity that surprises the cynic in you. When restoration comes, it will not be a small recompense. It will be the kind of turnaround that writes new lines into your family story. Heirlooms of favor will be handed down in spiritual currency, and the legacy that seemed postponed will appear, unexpected and rich. Ground this truth in your chest. The season of delay has expired. Acceleration is on its way. Let me give you an affirmation flow. Now short, powerful, to seal what you are stepping into. I am open to abundance. I am chosen for honor. I am guided by clarity. I am fearless in faith. I am wealthy in purpose. I am anchored in peace. I am renewed and free. Speak these out loud, slowly, like placing keystones in a new path. Feel each phrase vibrate in your throat. Let them be your daily declarations as you move through small choices that become the architecture of your future. Keep these practices as instruments of war and wisdom. Begin your mornings with a still 10-minute tending of the spirit. Refuse gossip as if it were a contagious disease. Write down 5 things you are grateful for every evening, so gratitude becomes a sword that dismantles despair. Forgive not because they deserve it, but because you cannot carry bitterness into the destiny that waits. Discipline is not a chain. It is a luminous hedge of protection. Guard your attention as if it were a precious coin. Do not spend it on toxic narratives. Each tiny victory, choosing scripture over scrolling, whispering a breath prayer before you speak, compounds into spiritual armor that will carry you through public storms and silent betrayals alike. There will be exposure, not as shame, but as liberation. Secrets tangled around your name will be pulled loose and shown for what they are. And when that occurs, you might feel the sting of old wounds reopening, but trust that those wounds will be the conduit for testimony. When unveiled, the truth will not only vindicate you, it will educate bystanders and reassign former critics to positions of remorse or inability to interfere. Watch who stands and who falls away. The ones who remain will be those heaven has matched to your mission. The ones who crumble were never meant to be your pillars. Do not mistake the breaking of plans for the removal of your responsibility. There is work to be done. Your weapons are the small, steady choices. Prayer spoken before impatience. Surrender chosen before control. Mercy extended when anger would be easier. These are soulful acts of combat. You do not fight for the sake of fighting. You fight to keep your heart clean and your sight clear. The discipline of morning prayer, the courage to leave unhealthy alliances, the daily writing of your blessings. These are the quiet conquests that make the public miracles possible. There will be strange dreams now, and in them you may find languages you did not know you knew, or old faces offering apologies they never dared in waking life. Pay attention. Dreams are not always literal. Sometimes they are signposts that point to a pathway. Keep a small notebook by your bed and jot what you remember. Patterns will emerge, a symbol repeated, a color that returns, a phrase that arrives like a key. These are the universe's pointers. They are not the whole map, but they are helpful compass points. You will also notice certain voices return into your orbit, some with genuine transformation, and others with the old script cleverly rewritten. Use discernment like a lamp. It lights the way and reveals what lies beneath the surface. Test sincerity not by words alone, but by consistency, fruit, and time. People who are genuine will exhibit the same tenderness they once lacked, but now carry. Manipulators will be cleverer, but their core remains hollow. Mercy does not require rekindling relationship. It requires your freedom from bitterness. Bless, then stand aside. As this renewal unfolds, expect a tangible calm to steal into parts of you that used to ache. A peace that is not passive will become your companion. A quiet confidence that does not need constant affirmation from others, because it is anchored in what the divine has already spoken over you. You will find that joy begins to return like a long-lost friend who knocks and sits with you without haste. This joy will not be showy. It will be an inner sun that disciplines the shadows. It will restore years that grief had taken. It will perfume your ordinary days with promise. There is also a call to practical action. Clear the rooms where you live. Open windows to let fresh air and sunlight alter the ambiance. Speak protective phrases into the corners. Declutter what no longer serves your calling. Spiritual work often rides on practical cycles. A clean house, a clear calendar, a circumscribed circle of influence. These are external signs that match the internal shift. As you change what you tolerate, the universe rearranges opportunities to fit your new bandwidth. You will see people who underestimated you now, watching as your life adjusts course in ways they cannot manufacture. Their astonishment will be silent sometimes, loud other times. Let it wash over you like rain on a roof. Do not gloat. Let heaven's vindication be its own chorus. Your role is to stay humble and obedient, to steward what arrives with integrity. Receive the rewards not as a vindication for revenge, but as confirmation that goodness transforms. When restoration arrives, it should make you kinder, not colder. There may be a season of recalibration where fame of sorts, recognition, offers, invitations will test your heart. Keep your center. Remember why you began the journey. Let your inner standards govern your public moves. Fame is not the point. Fidelity is. The truest miracles are not those that make headlines, but those that make you more tender, more faithful, more generous. Let restoration be the altar from which you give, not the throne from which you demand. As we conclude this spoken benediction, receive the final images. A book opened with pages that shine, each line rewritten with grace. A sturdy gate wide and welcoming. A field heavy with harvest bending toward you. Here, too, the sound of a sword returned to its sheath, not as a sign of defeat, but as proof of victory accomplished. Know that the heavens have not only been witnesses, but actors. They intervened, they strategized, they wept and acted. What you have lived through has moved the spiritual courts. Your name has been cleared in the chambers that matter most, and the echo now going out is one of honor. Softly, finally, I give you the closing affirmations to carry into your tomorrow. I am ready to receive. I am chosen for abundance. I am guided by light. I am one with divine love. I am restored. I am honored. I am free. Breathe each line into your chest. Let them become the rhythm of your steps. Walk now with gentle ferocity. Move with the certainty that the quiet work of heaven has prepared you for this rise. The meeting has ended. The verdict is mercy and elevation. Go, beloved, into the unfolding. You are not alone. You are not forgotten, and the best of your story is waiting to be lived. Listen closely, my beloved. The silence you've been feeling isn't emptiness. It's a doorway, a sacred pause before the sound of your new beginning breaks through. That quiet hum around your spirit right now is heaven rearranging your path. The stillness has purpose. It's the sound of divine alignment. The air around your name is different now, lighter, glowing, alive. The weight that used to sit heavy in your chest has started to lift because heaven is preparing to move through you, not just for you. Feel this truth settle deep in your bones. What's coming next isn't random. Every delay, every loss, every moment you thought was silence was actually divine timing. You've been prepared in secret for a season that couldn't begin until now. The doors that once refused to open are starting to respond to your energy, your maturity, your faith. Listen carefully. You are not the person who stood outside those doors last time. You are stronger now. You've grown roots where they expected to see ruins. You've built peace where they thought you'd collapse. Now imagine this with me, a wide horizon painted with gold light. You're standing there barefoot, the wind wrapping around you like a warm embrace. Every unanswered prayer starts to return, not as a question, but as fulfillment. The pain that once made no sense now connects into a pattern. The blessings that felt delayed begin to fall like soft rain, soaking your spirit in relief, in joy, in divine confirmation. The universe has been holding these gifts until your heart was ready to carry them without fear. You need to know this. You're entering a season that requires no revenge, no validation, no proving, just presence, just faith, just flow. The ones who spoke your name in secret meetings, who twisted stories, who laughed when you cried, they have already been exposed in the spiritual realm. Not to you, but to heaven. Justice has already been served in silence. What's coming to you now is peace, power, and positioning. The kind of breakthrough that turns heads but humbles hearts. There are 2 divine commands written for your spirit tonight. Receive and release. Receive what's meant for you, fully, without guilt. Release what's no longer aligned completely, without apology. Don't negotiate with what God has already ended. Don't revisit rooms where your spirit no longer fits. This is the hour to walk in truth, to stop shrinking so others can stay comfortable. You are not here to play small anymore. You are here to embody the magnitude of who you were designed to be.